start over. This week's episode is brought to you by Prime My Body's Recept Oil, a nano-enhanced CBD and CBG oil. And when I say not all hemp oils are the same, I mean it. Recept is the Maserati of hemp oils with an absorption rate of 98%. So when you're taking it under your tongue, like so, you're going to feel the effects really fast. So for you fighters who need to go from sympathetic, woo, that's like minty, sympathetic fight or flight mode to parasympathetic restore and rejuvenate mode, this is the oil for you. Unlike other brands, each batch comes with a certification of analysis and is THC free. So you won't have to worry about those, testing positive during one of those surprise urine testings. So check out the plant-based oil that is revolutionizing the health industry. Or you can simply go to evolvewmma.com and look under hemp oil and order a bottle there. Welcome to the Evolve WMMA podcast featuring the greatest upcoming female fighters on the planet. They are women who have gone against conventional thinking to pursue their dreams. These fighters inspire, empower, and unleash excellence within a new generation of female warriors as they rise and evolve into the best possible versions of themselves through the power of mixed martial arts. So my next guest has a really mean right hook and a lot of swagger. She recently participated in the first Invicta FC Strawweight tournament, Rise of the Phoenix, where she won all of her 3 fights to become the new Invicta FC Strawweight champion. Hey, this is Evolve WMMA. I'm your host, Shelly Devine, and I'd like to welcome back to the show the new Invicta FC Strawweight champion, Brianna the Bull Van Buren. So welcome and congratulations! My God, you went in there and just owned Invicta. Owned it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me back on your show.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. When I watched, I was like, I can believe she won, but I was like, I can't believe she won. Like, with the excitement, it's like so. I mean, your whole family, everybody at your gym must have been flipping out.
Yeah, a lot of people. I had a lot of people who actually flew out, and I had such a huge support system going in this tournament, so it was awesome. Yeah, my whole family, my team, my training partners, they were at the time pretty excited about it.
I mean, can you even believe it yourself? Or are you pinching yourself?
So the first couple of days when I got back home Saturday night, I was, it still felt unreal. And, even Monday morning, I spoke to my fiance and he was like, "You're the champion," and it still kind of felt unreal, but, I'm now trying to soak it all in.
I know, because last we talked, it was in December, and you, you fought against Jamie Moyle, and we talked, and you were like, these are my goals. I want to be Invicta FC champ. But you pretty much that wasn't. I can't remember. Was that your debut for Invicta?
So it actually was not my debut, and I think a lot of people they thought it was my debut because of the fact that I took such a long layoff.
That's right.
But I fought for Invicta about, I want to say, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So that was actually not my Invicta debut. That was my second fight with Invicta in December.
Okay, yeah. I knew it was something like that you hadn't fought for them in a little while. So getting back there and everything was like a huge thing.
Yeah.
So, check that one off your bucket list.
Yeah.
When you were going into, to prepare for this tournament, they haven't had a tournament style. We haven't seen this in a while. And actually, you know, we used to watch it, you know, we used to watch the guys in the UFC. They used to have the tournament style. That's how everybody got on board with, you know, MMA and stuff. And years ago they had hook and shoot, and the women would do a tournament style. Were you ever familiar with that? Did you ever see any of those fights? Like, you know, get the videos and, you know, and rent them, or actually you had to buy them, I think, to watch them.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
I never really, so I knew about like the tournament styles back then. But again, I was still a baby. I'm still super young. So, I think it was still, like I knew about it, but I never had the opportunity to go and rent them.
Yeah. So this is like, I mean, having Invicta and Shannon Knapp, you know, putting this together and having a tournament style for me to watch it. It was so exciting because that's what got me into like watching MMA, like, and
right.
Because you're like, it's nail biting. You're like, oh my God, you know, and then too, you know, they have other fighters that are reserves, and you don't know if, you know, I mean, you were the only one that really actually submitted anybody. And, you don't know if, you know, any of the other opponents will come back if they can fight again.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always, you know, the challenge of these sorts of things. And as this progresses, it's going to get even, like, I mean, you know, when they have another one and out, you know, more and more of them, it's going to get a little bit more intense. I thought your fights were incredible.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was.
You were so dominant and so. I mean, have you had chance to watch your fights yet?
So I watched my fight. I'm very competitive on myself. So I actually watched my fight that night. I went back to my hotel, and you know, me and my fiance actually watched the fight that night. And then when I got home, I watched the fight with my coaches and my family. So I have watched it a couple of times already. So yeah.
I mean, were you like disappointed in your performance at all? I'm teasing you.
Yeah, so I wish I would have gotten another finish. I mean, ideally in the perfect world going into this tournament, I didn't put any pressure on myself, but I remember telling you know, my brothers that, you know, I want to get 3 finishes. Like, you know, it'd been awesome to finish Juliana Lima, but she's a tough cookie, and you know, it is what it is. I'm happy with a unanimous decision over her.
Yeah, you totally dominated your takedowns. I think if I was the fighter and I knew, and I was in your division, I would be studying the way you do takedowns, because you don't, I don't know why you don't see more fighters doing that.
Yeah.
And when I'm like, there it is. It's like a perfect takedown. She sets it up. She goes in, boom, 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 and then boom. You don't even know it's coming. The fighter doesn't even know it's coming. They're like oblivious, and they're up in the air, and then they're down. And it's rare to see that. And it was so satisfying just to watch that happen. And you threw elbows and knees. I think I don't know who it was, but you got it right in the liver, man. I think it might have been.
I think it was
Kylan. Yeah. And I was like, you know, do you have a chance to talk to the fighters afterwards? Because, I mean, it looked like you need her right. I mean, perfect in the liver. I was like, oh my God, that must have killed.
Yeah. So I actually spoke to all of my opponents after, and, you know, Kylan's very sweet. She's a cool chick. And it was funny because before even knowing that I was going to fight her, I remember telling like my coaches and stuff, I'm like, she's going to be my friend after this tournament. Like, she's going to be my friend. She's a cool girl. And, you know, I like her. Yeah, I talked to Kylan after the fight. I actually didn't talk to Juliana Lima as much. I just said, you know, hey, good fight. Shook her hand, shook her coach's hands, and same with Manjit, I believe that's her name. And and we traded you know, messages on social media, just, you know, congrats, well deserved and whatnot. But they seem to be in good spirits, so
that's good. Yeah, you didn't suffer any damage either, really. I mean, you not at all. Did you? I mean,
Yeah.
like, I mean, there's no visible signs of anything.
Mm,
I don't think you even got touched.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't. Thankfully, I didn't get hurt at all.
Yeah,
Going in this camp and after this camp, I was injury free. So,
that's
um,
awesome. Because I mean,
yeah,
some of those women are vicious too. But I mean,
yeah.
you were like you were a beast.
Thanks. I'll take that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were. I mean, your uncle Anthony. Um, I'm terrible with names. Figaro. Did I say it right?
Figueroa.
Figueroa.
Yeah.
When I read it and then I hear it, I'm like two different things. But yeah, he must have been so proud.
Yeah, he was definitely proud of me. Even I remember even just the week of the fight, he's such an awesome guy. He's just like so composed, and I think that's why I was so composed going into the fight as well, because he was just like, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, all the hard work is over with. Just go out there and have fun. And that's what he tells me every time. Like, just go out there and have fun. And, you know, even after after I won, you know, in the final, he picked me up, and, you know, it was a very proud moment for us all. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your training, because you basically are just, you know, you're lifting the girls up, you're tossing them like they're rag dolls. And I'm sure they were like, I can't believe she picked me up and took me off my feet, you know. And I'm like, are you in the gym lifting up 200-pound bags regularly?
You know, I actually practice a lot with my god brother Joseph Figueroa, which is Anthony's son. He's actually one of my main training partners, and they did a tremendous job at just helping me out with this fight, and, you know, just preparing for it well. And he pushed me every single day. Every time when, you know, it was his time to push me, Joseph came in and gave me the work that I needed to get. And you know, I also I have training partners like Adam Antolin, who, you know, he fought on Contender Series, I believe not once but twice, and was out on the Ultimate Fighter tough show, excuse me. And you know, I have people like them in my corner and constantly just pushing me, because they want it just as bad as I do. And I think having those type of people around me is what it's going to take to get to the next level. And I'm honestly very grateful to have them.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. It's good to have good people in your corner, for sure, and good training partners. It's so important to have a good training partner.
Yeah.
That you don't get hurt, you know, like
Exactly.
If they're bigger than you, stronger, whatever, and that you can go at an intense level but not get hurt, and you trust them, you know.
Right. And I think that's what it's all about too. We were just talking about this before my fight. I remember Coach Hogg talking about it at AKA, like, you know, it's good to have training partners that also care for you as well, you know, instead of just going in there and try to beat up on each other and get hurt, you know. And I think that's what it was all about. Like, I had so many training partners, from Bobby Nogo to, you know, my god brother Anthony Figueroa, Joseph Figueroa, and, you know, Adam Antolin. There's so many people, Justin Tenadora, who were all in, you know, they were small, big, same size as me. They came in and they gave me, you know, that push that I needed. But most importantly, they made sure that I wasn't going to get hurt, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So during the, you know, you're getting interviewed a lot now, probably a lot more than you ever have now, right?
Yeah, I am. I think I had like 3-4 interviews yesterday.
Yeah.
I had 2 today.
Yeah.
So
you're you're a celebrity now.
I don't know about all that, but
yeah, you are. So I thought it was funny that, like, Laura Sanko and Jimmy Smith, they were saying, you know, like when they were introducing, you know, you to, you know, they do their little talk before, you know, the fights and stuff, and they were saying, yeah, she's got a monster hook. And I'm like, yeah, this girl can throw down some punches, and you're always, you know, balanced underneath you. Your feet are, so you've had a phenomenal training. And, but then but then the thing is, and her swagger.
Yeah, I heard that.
and I'm like cracking up because I'm like, yeah, that's true, because when you were in the Jamie Moyle fight, you're like doing one of these.
Yeah,
come on, yeah. bring it, come on. And it reminded me, now, is that just your natural thing, or are you taking something from like, Bruce Lee or from Kill Bill?
Yeah,
they do that.
I had just told someone about this just recently, because they asked me a very similar question about this, and I think that's just who I am. Like my uncle Anthony has always told me, like, just keep it real and just be honest and go out there and have fun. And I think I'm actually finding myself more when I'm in the cage, because it's my home. This is what I do. This is I do it because I love it. And that's just my personality, I guess. That's just my attitude. That's that's what you guys are getting. And I think it's awesome. I'm still learning and growing as my, like seeing myself do these things. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like maybe I shouldn't be doing it, but I'm learning to have fun with it, and just being me and just being myself. So which brings me to this other side of personalities and women in being confident and carrying that confidence in a situation, in any situation for that matter, but in the ring, outside of the ring. And you definitely have that attitude of confidence, and it shines through. So my question would be was there a time when you felt like you lacked that in your earlier years, when you were first starting out, when you were coming up through martial arts? Because confidence is something that you have to earn. You kind of develop it. You grow
it, and you grow into it, and you become more confident. And I know for myself, in certain situations, especially with men around, if you're in, like, say, if you're in a gym and it's predominantly men and you're in the fight game, as a woman, you'd be afraid you might get hurt or something. So I would lack some confidence there in being in the gym to roll or to, strike with somebody that might be bigger than me. So how do you think, your martial arts training, but then anything inside or outside the ring, the cage, your peers training has helped us? I really like to go into depth on, because you're an extremely confident person for a young woman, and to talk about this. And I think a lot of women would benefit from hearing from you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I think, to be quite honest with you, the confidence kind of, like, I felt like I've always had the confidence, even when I was younger. I'm sure I probably lacked some sort of self-confidence and not really realizing it. And as I grew up, they kind of just were able to I'm able to expose more of, the self-confidence that I have in myself. But yeah, growing up and, being at the gym and training with, a group of men all day, and me being the only female, I think it allowed me to embrace and let my inner self just, kind of expose and blossom, and just blossom into, me being the person I am today. But I think I've always kind of had the self-confidence in myself when I was younger, and now I'm just able, again, I'm just learning. So I think I'm trying not to like hold anything back. I'm just trying to just be myself. And I think that came a lot with, my coach, also my uncle Anthony. Like he helped me develop, those confidence by just always telling me, go have fun, go do your thing, just be real with yourself, keep it real, just be honest. And and I think me being able to do that, the confidence just kind of came
natural.
It just kind of came naturally. So and I'm thankful. And I think
Sounds like it came natural because you were doing something that you really enjoyed and loved and felt passionate about.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. And you couldn't have said it any better, because again, like I've always dreamt of being, not only just a world champion, but the Invicta Strawweight champion. And, you know, hopefully one day, the UFC Strawweight champion, you know. And so me having these dreams and me being able to follow my dreams and, you know, do what I love and enjoy it every day, I think the confidence just kind of come.
Yeah, that's awesome. To see that development, and you know, for even your family to watch you and your teammates to watch you grow into that too, I guess that must be,
Yeah.
it's fascinating because there's so many, you know, challenges when you're in the gym, I'm sure, like, you know, training and stuff and keeping a good fight camp and not losing your cool from, you know,
Right.
oh, I didn't perform properly today in the gym and, you know, and letting that go, you know, kind of psych you out. There's a lot to the mental game of a fight. So
Right.
having that kind of confidence, I think, must come from a good support system too.
I think 100% it comes from a good support system, because even when I do have my hard days, where I'm, you know, I'm an athlete, I love to compete. And, you know, me being the athlete that I am, sometimes I am hard on myself. And sometimes, you know, coming home and, you know, having my fiance being able to talk to me and tell me like, hey, you did good today. Like, you did, you know, you did freaking awesome. Like, you should be proud of yourself. Or, you know, my family, you know, my coaches and stuff, like, hey, you know, pick your head up, you did good. And so being able to have that support system is huge, I think, because without that, let alone, I think, you know, just what happens if like I come home and, you know, I'm not able to have that support system where they don't tell me like, you know, hey, you did good today. Like, what if I didn't have that? I think I would probably dig a deeper hole for myself. So I think having that support system is amazing. And I think it definitely brings up my confidence.
So is your fiance, does he train in MMA or?
Yeah, he trains MMA. He also trains jiu-jitsu. He does not compete. Right now he trains and he loves the art.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. Is this a recent engagement? Like, I mean, I don't think, are you recently engaged?
No, I've been engaged the last time I spoke to you.
Okay.
I don't know if I talked about it as much.
We probably didn't.
Yeah,
we probably didn't.
Just because I try to keep my personal life and, you know, MMA
a little bit like separate.
A little bit, a little bit separate. But yeah, I've been engaged, and nice. You know, we're looking to get married next year. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's nice to have a partner that supports what you do, and in such a very, you know, it's such a different, you know, career.
Right. Yeah.
I think I don't know if it was an interview or I had heard you worked in like a desk job or something. You were like,
yeah,
you know,
I hated every second.
Yeah, right.
I hated every second of working at Stryker Endoscopy and that was I worked behind a desk for, you know, full time, and I liked the people, you know, the atmosphere was good, but I cannot wrap my head around, you know, doing it like as a dream job. It wasn't something that I dreamt of doing for the rest of my life. So I had to, you know, make some adjustments in my personal life to get to do what I'm doing now.
Was that really scary for you to make that that shift and change? And, you know, financially, what are people going to think?
Yeah. It wasn't scary because I had the support system again.
So were you encouraged? Were you encouraged to do it, to make the change?
Yes. Yeah, I was definitely encouraged to do it. Thankfully, my fiance, he at the time, you know, he knew that I wanted to fight, And he knew that, you know, this is something that I dreamt of doing since I was a little girl. So his words of encouragement was, you know, do whatever is going to make you happy. And I just want to see you happy. And, you know, if that's you quitting your job and going 110% and committing to fighting, do it. So having that support system and having him in my ear telling me, you know, I'm here, I can do it. You know, and he can, you know, he's able to financially take care of both of us, thankfully. I decided to commit to it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm committing to the life that I want to live.
Yeah, that's great to have that, to have people around you that do support you in that way. You need that. You actually need that. You need to have your tribe.
Yeah, and it's really awesome too, because like you said, like it's the support system, and I think that's huge. If you like the key things, I think, into becoming a champion is making sure that you're well balanced, not only with your personal life, but with everything else, you know, and with your training and, you know, your sleep and everything else. And just, you know, having that communication, you know, with your coaches and whatnot. So I'm thankful. I'm very thankful that I have the support system that I have. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah, I mean, definitely great to have. So I'm going to go back to your swagger and your little talk, because I know when I had you on the show last time, I was like, do you want to say anything to any of your, you know, like your opponent, you know, your upcoming opponent? You're like, I'm just going to let my hands do all the talking. That's what you said. And I was like, that's good. I like that. And then since then, I hear, I think I'm going to retire people tonight. I was like, wow. And then I like to break fighters' wills. Now, I mean, did you think this, or did it just kind of like, did it just come out of you?
Honestly, that's just me just being me. That's just, I try not to think, because when I start to think about stuff, I start to overthink about, okay, well, what should I say? And then it starts to come out like a script, right?
Right.
And for me personally, I don't like that. So I kind of just, I talk like it's just me being me. Again, that's part of, it's a learning curve for me. It's me just, you know, being who I am, and who knows?
You backed it up.
Yeah, maybe I'll look back. Man. Maybe I'll look back at this in a couple of years and be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said I want to retire her, break her will, or, you know, whatever the case is. But you guys, you are getting me 100%.
That's awesome. I mean, I was cracking up when I heard that. I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty good. I'm digging that. That's all fun and games.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at, you know, when you were in the, you know, after your fights, were you able to watch the fights downstairs when you were at, you know, in the, whatever they have you in the locker room?
In the room. Yeah. So I actually wasn't paying any attention to any of the girls that were fighting, to be quite honest with you. I was like in my own little lane. I tried to just get ready for the next one, and I kept I like to call it tunnel vision. I tried to keep that tunnel vision all throughout the whole entire night. And so I didn't watch any of the girls. I think maybe one of my coaches, I think both of my coaches actually were watching them every now and then. But even then, there was nothing that we couldn't do. There was nothing that we could try to change at that moment. The hard work was all done. So it was just at that point, it was time for me to just go in there and showcase my skills and let the opportunity present itself. I mean, ideally, it'd have been fine to stand. Like, I would have been okay to stand with any of the girls, but at the same time, I let the opportunity present itself. So the takedown was there. I went in for it, and I did what I had to do to get the job done.
Right. So when you, I mean, you got the first, I think the only submissions of the night, but you did get the first one, and then you were able to choose your opponent. You were the only one that was able to choose their opponent. Why did you choose Juliana Lima, say, over the other two?
Yeah.
Was there a reason?
There wasn't a specific reason for me. My coaches kind of, I remember Anthony looking at me and asking me, what do you think about Juliana Lima? That was the first person he had asked was, what do you think about Juliana Lima? And I looked at him and I said, let's do it. I was prepared. I tried to prepare myself to fight whoever that they were going to throw in my face. I mean, look at the girl that I originally was supposed to fight didn't make weight. Oh,
Yeah.
what happened? She didn't even make weight. So I had a last minute switch up, and she was a southpaw. You know, I wasn't prepared. Well, obviously I was prepared because I came out victorious, but in my mind, I wasn't prepared to fight Manjit. I was prepared to fight Janisa in the first round.
Yeah.
But at the same time, things happen. So I was prepared to fight whoever that they were going to give me. And Juliana was the first name that my coaches threw at me. So I decided to say, let's do it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Cause, that ended up being maybe your toughest fight during the tournament. But I was just wondering if there was any strategy behind it, if you guys, you know, if you had talked to your coaches, if it had gone like a certain way or whatever, if there was anything behind it. But it sounds like you're prepared to fight anybody.
Yeah, I really was, because even when Sharon Jacobson and Kylan Curran fought, I personally thought in my head, and no disrespect to Kylan Curran or Sharon Jacobson, but I thought Sharon Jacobson was going to win that fight, just because I thought, you know, I don't know. I thought she was going to win. And in my head, in my head, I was kind of prepared to go with another southpaw again. But then my coaches came and told me, hey, Kylan Curran won that fight. And so it was like, okay, cool. Like, you know, so like, and I knew what I was signing myself up with, because it was an 8-woman tournament. It could have gone, I could have fought, you know, Suna. I could have fought, you know,
I was actually surprised Suna lost that one too. I felt like I guess that was a well-matched fight that she had with Kylan. But it's amazing to me, you know, like the different levels. And I think, you know, whoever you end up going against, I mean, now you got like the target on your back. And they're all going to be gunning for you now. But it'll be interesting to see. I think those ones will be an interesting matchup, you know, with Jacobson there, or with Suna, David's daughter. Against you. Have you kind of looked at your competition now at all? I mean, I know it's been only a few days, but are you just like on vacation mode and taking, you know, just doing all the necessary things after the fight, and then just chilling, and then, you know, what's going to be next?
So I had such a long camp. I mean, I had like a 12-week camp, no joke. And like it was a tough camp. This was the longest camp I've had. And you know, at this point, I personally feel like I went against, you know, the top girls. I think, you know, I don't know. I didn't really think of, you know, fighting any of the girls, Suna or Sharon Jacobson. If anything, I think what they should do, and again, this is just me, I'm not the matchmaker for Invicta, I don't call the shots, but I think what they should do is they should, now that they have like a better, you know, feel of what the girls, who the girls are in the rankings and whatnot, they should let the girls, what I think would be cool is the girls that didn't make weight, they should let them fight. Them fight. Let Suna and, you know, whoever was another really, you know, a tough girl, you know, let them fight. And, you know, again, I'm obviously I'm not going to sit around. I want to fight at least, you know, 2 more times this year, but I haven't really thought about next opponent or anything like that, because I've had such a long camp that I'm gonna go and hang out with my family this weekend, and, you know, just and give them my time, because, you know, they've done so much for me in this camp, and you know, I think it's time for me to give it back to them, at least for a couple of days, and get back to training and, you know, get the ball rolling. But whoever they give me, my coaches will make sure, and, you know, and I'll make sure as well that I'm prepared for whoever they're going to give me.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a great show for Invicta. I mean, it's so funny because you go on SureDog now, and you had like, you know, so, and then it's like boom, 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 three fights. And it's like,
it's so
wow.
awesome. Yeah. It's so awesome. And you know what, too? This is totally off, but I wanted to go back to talking about the Kylan Cran fight and whatnot. Even my interviews before, like, a lot, like Laura Sanko asked me during media day, you know, who are you most excited? What fight are you most excited about? And I kept saying it all throughout fight week. I said, Kylan Cran is going to surprise you guys. You know, she's going to come in and surprise you guys. And I thought that was really cool that, you know, her and I ended up in the final. So yeah. That's awesome. She's a tough cookie.
That's funny. You know, you put the intention out there too, and it's like, wow, and it shows up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fight her. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, very cool.
I thought it was pretty cool.
That's so awesome. Well, I want to thank you. I mean, I want to give you a chance to give some shout outs, and I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know you had an amazing, run there, but like the 12 weeks, what you just said, you know, for your fight camp, and then all the aftermath, all the interviews. So I appreciate you coming on the show and saying hey and all that, and congratulations. But any shout outs that you'd like to give to anybody, and go from there.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much, first of all, for, you know, reaching out to me and, you know, taking the time to ask me these questions. It's very thoughtful of you. Huge thank you to all of my coaches and, you know, training partners, and major shout out to all of my sponsors who helped me, you know, prepare for this fight. You know, I had Julie Bruns, who came through. You know, she always comes through for my fights, and, you know, she came through for this fight, and it was such a big deal. You know, Drew Smith, my instructors at Best Yoga Studios, they've helped me tremendously. You know, every time when I would go into yoga, they would, you know, constantly ask me how I'm feeling, and, you know, just everything in between. And, you know, my family and friends, and, you know, my amazing fiance. So thank you, and thank you to everybody.
It's great having you on the show, and congratulations to the new Strawweight champ for Invicta FC, Brianna the Bull. Yay!
Thank you.
Until your next fight, can't wait to see you fight again.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. Bye.
Bye-bye. I'd like to thank our guest, Brianna Van Buren, for coming on to the show. She is the new Invicta FC Strawweight champ, and she won the Phoenix Rising Series tournament. That's how she became the champ. She went through and she just dominated the whole series. I'm telling you, she got 2 submissions and won one of her fights by unanimous decision. And she went up against some pretty tough competition. She's an awesome fighter. Can't wait to see her defend her title in the near future. So, if you are listening to Evolve WMMA, I would suggest please go and leave us a review. You can do that either on iTunes, or you can go directly to the blog at evolvewmma.com, and you can see all the podcasts there, and you can leave a review. And if you're listening to this one, you know, let us know how Brianna, you know, mention Brianna, and let us know how she might have inspired and motivated you. Or if you have any questions that you'd like to ask her, because I'm sure I'll be having her on the show again. Or any of the other fighters when you go ahead and listen in. So thanks so much. Your review and your comments help, you know, get this information to other people. You know, it helps people find our show. So please go ahead and do that to support Women's MMA. And never miss an episode of Evolve WMMA with me, Shelley Devine. Especially if you liked what you heard today and are eager to hear more, remember to subscribe. That way it'll come right into your email box, and download on iTunes. And you can also say you don't have iTunes or you don't like iTunes, you can listen to us at Podomatic, shout engine, or even find us on Spotify at Involved Women's MMA. Now remember, you can listen while doing other things, but if you can't listen and you prefer to watch, you can also find us at YouTube at Women's MMA. And let's see, what else? So, or, you can simply follow us at facebook.com/I love WMMA. This is Shelley Devine. Until next time, thanks for listening.